Yo, what's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? We here, man. We here. Welcome to another episode of Think Pieces of Conversations. We are back at the top of 2025. 2025. As you can see, there is somebody you probably know. You probably watch his podcast. You probably listen to it. You probably signed up for a Patreon. You probably bought merch. You probably listened to his music. You probably just supported this man. In this episode, or at least this part of this episode, because we're going to talk about a few things. We're not just going to talk about Joe. We're going to talk about what happened in New Orleans, and we're going to discuss that as well after this. But I haven't watched another opinion on this incident that Joe has got himself into. Um Basically he was walking around naked. Now you might be laughing, right? But Joe is, if you're tuned into his podcast, he is a sleepwalker. He is a person that sleepwalks. The only thing about the sleepwalking thing with Joe is he mentioned that after the incident. He mentioned that he is a sleepwalker after the incident on his podcast. Now, some may say, yo, that's awfully convenient, right? But let's get into the report of Joe being arrested and let's talk about it. So on MSN.com, which I'm getting this article from right now, Joe Budden arrested for attempting to enter neighbor's apartment butt naked. I need y'all to just let me read this and just listen with open ears. I'm going to read this word for word. Joe Budden has reportedly been arrested and charged with lewdness for an incident on December 4th, 2024. A screenshot of the 44-year-old's arrest record went viral on X Sunday, December 29th. Breaking news. Joe Budden has a court date on January 16th for disorderly lewdness, a charge related to sexual misconduct or indecency in public. Now, before I keep going, I mentioned that this man is a sleepwalker, right? Some people, I'm on X, I'm looking through comments. Some people think sleepwalking is some kind of myth, right? There's some people that don't believe that sleepwalkers exist. This is true. There are people that don't believe this. And I could kind of see why if you never seen a sleepwalker before. Now, I'm not for or against Joe on this, but looking at this objectively, which a lot of people can't really do when it comes to him because of his background and his history of always being the villain in the public eye. My cousin, one of my cousins is a sleepwalker or was a sleepwalker. He would get up out his bed in the middle of the night, eyes closed, talking, but probably mumbling. He'll be mumbling something gibberish. Getting up, walking, going to this room, going to that room, doing something, right? and then somebody would have to grab him, put him back in the bed, put him back to his bed, lay down, go back to sleep like nothing happened. He won't remember that he sleepwalked. He won't remember what he was doing while he sleepwalked. So I know of a sleepwalker in my life. Probably grew out of that. Right? Now, if you've been tuning into the Joe Budden podcast and or his Patreon, mostly his Patreon, he discussed on one of his episodes, very recent, that they had to get out of that studio because he didn't say that this was the reason they had to get out that studio. But I'm going to keep reading this article, right? Let's keep reading this article before I further elaborate. The caption of the post read, he previously claimed the JBP had to relocate recording in a residential building, which was, if you've been tuning in, the room, the building with the white couches and the skyline view, and you see the water. It's nice, it's fancy, it's beautiful, right? He said there was another reason why he had to move out that building. Now, let me read further in this article. Lewdness is the state of being obscene or indecent, or the act of behaving in a vulgar or offensive sexual manner. Okay, so reading this I guess it's his court date. New Jersey courts, Joseph A. Budden, court date January 16th, 2025. Right? So he has to go to court for this. Now, if he can prove that he's a sleepwalker, then he'll get off. Right? So supposedly, the Edgewater Police Department, as I'm reading from this article, issued a press release providing details of the December 4th incident on December 30th. Per the statement, authorities were called to an Edgewater apartment complex after a resident reported an unusual incident. The 911 caller was alerted by their doorbell camera, aka the Ring camera, when she reportedly saw Budden, real name Joseph Anthony Budden II, standing completely butt naked outside their apartment door. Hold on. If you've been tuned in to the Joe Budden podcast, this is a pause moment. This is pause worthy. He has stated multiple times on his pod that he doesn't wear clothes when he goes to sleep. Now I want you to do the math, right? He's not the only person on planet Earth that goes to sleep completely naked. So I'm gonna give some advice to Joe before I even read further in this. Matter of fact, let me read further in this. The video allegedly shows the Pump It Up rapper attempting to enter a code into the resident's door keypad multiple times before returning into his own place across the hall. Now, if you're a sleepwalker and you live in an apartment complex, which every single apartment has a door keypad, I would assume that if you really are sleepwalking, that you think this place that you're going into while you're in your sleep state is your place, right? So you're trying to put in your password key because you think this is your apartment. So maybe he woke up in the middle of his sleepwalk and went back in. Who knows, right? But however this goes, this looks crazy if you don't know any sleepwalkers or you don't believe in sleepwalkers. Now, back to my advice for Joe. You have to start wearing clothes while you're asleep. Period. Period. Listen, you have to start wearing clothes while you're asleep. That's number one. If you don't want to do that, you and your girl need to move in as fast as possible. Which he stated they don't live together. They're in one, she lives in Texas, he lives in Jersey. You need to find somebody that could stay with you, that could watch you sleepwalk, that could stop you from doing anything crazy such as this while sleepwalking. You gotta do something about this yesterday. That's how fast you gotta do something about this, because when he talked about his sleepwalking incident before this got put up in the airwaves, nobody knew that Joe got arrested, but nobody outside of the Joe Budden podcast. He mentioned in another story on one of his episodes that he sleepwalked into one of his business partners' hotel rooms and slept in the bed. We didn't know this was a sleepwalking incident, but on this particular episode, very recent, which this previous sleepwalking incident happened, he revealed that he sleptwalked in this room. Now, I don't really have a reason to not believe Joe, but the people that want to see him fail absolutely don't believe this. So we're gonna stay tuned to this. I don't think Joe is a creep. I don't think he's a creep, right? But he has to take care of this immediately. They say it's stress that causes sleepwalking. They say there's a couple things that cause sleepwalking. Who knows? You gotta figure it out. But that's it for that story. I'm gonna let you figure it out, Joe. Hopefully you don't get charged and sent somewhere for that. Okay, so this next story. There was an attack in New Orleans yesterday on New Year's Day. Today is January 1st as of this recording, today is January 1st. Okay. Let's check this out.
Former FBI agent and Fox News contributor Nicole Parker. Nicole, thank you for waking up for us on this New Year's Day. You are seeing the news unfold, and we are trying to parse and make sense of the unbelievably conflicting messages coming from the mayor, calling it a terror attack, and then the now FBI Assistant Special Agent in Charge, Aletha Duncan, immediately saying it was not.
So look, there is 10 dead, 30 hurt after this incident, right? Supposedly on New Year's Day, there was a crowd of people and a car ran into the crowd of people. I don't need... Listen, ever since I turned 30 years old, I do not need to be in a place that has a whole bunch of people around for New Year's Day. I'm not paying $100 for parking or whatever overcharged price that they selling for. there isn't no more than 2, maybe 3 people at the house. I'm not in a situation where there's so many people around me that I can't control what's going on. If there's too many worst case scenarios, I don't need to be there. If there's too many people around me that are belligerent and drunk, possibly really happening, could happen, I don't need to be there. Why do y'all like to go to these things? Ever since I turned 30, I've been in the house on New Year's Eve. Folks want to drive. Folks want to go here, go there. There's a lot of people on the road that's driving while on the influence. I don't care for this, right? But let's listen to the rest of this.
What a horrible tragedy. I mean, I literally were waking up with hope for 2025. I was literally out running and I got a text message from Fox asking if I could join. And here we are, again, discussing another tragedy in our country. I agree with you. That press conference was not good. You cannot send a conflicting message out to the American people and give them reassurance that everything's okay. That was very confusing, and you're exactly right. You have someone from the police department coming out and saying it's terrorism, and then you have FBI coming out and saying it is not terrorism, but there are IEDs involved. My gut instinct, this is terrorism. The FBI is taking over this for a reason. There will be a lot of information that will come out. I do know individuals that are on the ground there right now. This is very serious. This is the real deal. They're going to do a very full and thorough investigation. At this point, that's all I can tell you, Griff, is that this is the real deal. You will get more information coming soon. Likely involves I think that there's definitely some foreign terrorist organization groups involved backing this. As you mentioned, that there's been other things that have occurred in other countries recently, similar in nature. There are people that hate America. They hate our freedoms. They hate what we stand for. This is a time when people are celebrating New Year's. This is 2025. People have hope. And like you said, big bold.
Okay, so right now, we are looking for the video. We're looking for the actual video or the aftermath of the attack. The actual aftermath of the attack. All right. Now, let's look at this. Let's look at this. There was gunshots, so that means they probably shot the suspect. This is a lot going on.
First of all,
Yo, y'all need to stay home, bro. When things like this happen, just stay home, man. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. But y'all just like to be lit. Y'all like to be in the mix. Oh, I'm in the mix. Oh, you wasn't outside. Oh, you wasn't outside. Look.
we do know
Come on, man.
that the city of New Orleans was impacted by a terrorist attack. It's all still under investigation.
We had this event started at about 3:15. It did involve a man driving a pickup truck down Bourbon Street at a very fast pace, and it was very intentional behavior. This man was trying to run over as many people as he possibly could.
Now, before the people in the comments, if whoever sees this, be like, yo, this is why America's falling, because why we can't go outside and just enjoy ourselves. The reality of this country is this. We are hated by many. We are hated by many that lives within and outside the country. You understand? Also, there are people that don't like themselves. There are people that want to spread pain wherever they go. Spread hurt, discomfort, negativity wherever they go. Right? So, in a place that is envied by many, hated by many, not respected by many, taken for granted by many. You have to look at life at a realistic point of view, especially when it comes to life and death. New Year's Eve, big events that have large crowds on the outside where cars are driving big metal things that drive at high speeds. When those things are outside while there's big events happening, that is a worst case scenario event that you can easily conjure up in your head. Damn, what if a car drives into this crowd right now? Can I escape? Can I get out of this? Is any of my loved ones around? Who's around? Right? In places like London, Europe, places outside the country, a lot of these kinds of incidents happen where trucks, garbage trucks, all types of trucks run into crowds. This might be the first time I'm hearing this here in the United States, right? These incidences and these types of worst case scenarios, you people that live in La La Land need to start thinking about when you want to go to things like New Year's Eve with a whole bunch of people outside that you do not know. I hope they got the killers of this attack. I hope they did what they had to do so the place could get safer. The thing is, right now, America is in a state of unsureness because there are a lot of people that we don't know that have entered the country. So this could have happened. This could have been done by an immigrant, a crazy person, a terrorist, anything. All of the above, it could have been done. Who knows? You need to be living in a state of caution. Of course, you need to be enjoying your life, yada, yada, yada. But stop being naive. All right? Now, since we have hit 2025, let's get into some something more positive. All right? This ain't gonna be too long. But 2024, right, was such a stress-filled year. It was called the Year of Chaos by Patrick Bet-David before the year started, right? It was called the Year of Chaos. I think 2025 is going to be the year of justice. I've told this to people I've talked to in person. I've told this to people I've talked to on the phone, whatever. I said this year is going to be the year of justice. Now you say, 8, what you mean by the year of justice? There are going to be a lot of things that's going to come out that you're not going to believe. There are going to be a lot of people that have never been to prison or rumored to have done things in the past that will face consequences that they haven't interpreted or predicted because they thought they was untouchable. There is going to be a revival of America. Right? There is going to be uncomfortable things that happen because justice isn't naive. Justice is sure, swift, and it's probably hard to believe or swallow because injustice is not going to be a comfortable sight. You're going to be seeing things that you're not going to be comfortable with seeing. You're going to be seeing people arrested that you're not comfortable with being arrested because you idolize them. You saw them bigger than life. But the incidences that they have committed will make you look at them very different. There will be certain industries that will change forever because of what was revealed after the year 2025, the year of justice. What do you think this year is going to bring? Put it down in the comments. Comment on what you think about this New Orleans incident, what you think about the Joe Budden incident. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe to the channel every single time. Make sure you share it. Right? I'm out of here.